That's my stat sheet if you want to pause the video and have a look at it yourself. In terms of gear, I'm running 2 heavy Balog on the head and shoulders. The head is infused Tri-Stat and then Impen Max Magicka. This set got changed. Instead of it giving you spell and weapon damage to double the amount of ultimate you got saved, it gives you weapon, spell, physical and spell penetration just for how much ultimate you got saved, which works out to be a bit less healing because you'll have less max weapon damage and spell damage, but penetration is so fucking strong in PvP anyway, so it's a damage buff, trust me. The next set is Necropotence, which you run in infused Tri-Stat on the big and on the chest and the legs, and then Impen Max Magicka on the small pieces. This set is just so good on Warden because it gets Netch, which is a free cast that can keep this uptime at 100%. Next set is Willpower, 2-piece Willpower just for a bit more Max Magicka. I've gone for Arcane spell damage. You could go infused spell damage, but I just feel like having a bit like a high Max Magicka pool on Warden is nice. The next set is Potentates, which I've done infused spell damage on the necklace. And then the trait doesn't really matter on the sword. You could go powered or infused. It's just up to your personal preference. I prefer defending. And the same with the enchant. You could change this to the one that restores Max Magicka. I mean, the one that restores Magicka or anything like that, really. And then the shield, Impen. And I've gone Max Magicka again. It doesn't really matter because you're going to be swapping on and off this bar, but it'll just make your heals like that tiny little bit better. And then the last set is the Master's Perfected Lightning Staff. I've kept this infused because it dropped infused for me, and I feel like that worked good for me with the weapon and spell damage enchantment. It doesn't really make much difference. You could go Nirnhoned or Sharpened depending on your CP, so it's up to you really. But the Master's Perfected Lightning Staff is just so fucking strong, especially for Warden, which doesn't really have a good spammable. You want to use Destructive Touch, and this is just a no-brainer to use with that really. 600 spell damage. It's so much. In terms of skills, back bar, got Ice Fortress, which is just your resistance and also gives you minor protection. You got Lotus Blossom, which mostly I use it for the crit, the Major Prophecy, but it's a nice heal as well. Living Trellis, it can be kind of a burst heal, not really, but it's a nice heal to have over time. Shimmering Shield, it absorbs projectiles and also gives you ultimate back, so it's kind of a no-brainer really. You have to use this. And then Blue Betty, which is a free cast, gives you Magicka back, gives you Major Sorcery, purges 1 effect, and also procs your Necropotence, so you have to run this. Northern Storm, which is going to be your only ultimate that you use. You use it offensively, but you could also use it defensively as well. Then on the front bar, you got Fetcher Infection, which you mostly use for the 8% increased damage taken, minor vulnerability. Bird of Prey, which mostly is just for slotting to get more damage done, but it's also nice to have the movement speed, especially because we're not running Rat. Deep Fissure, Burst, you got to use it on Magicka Warden. Shock Clench, which is proccing your Master Lightning Staff. And then Arctic Blast, which is a delayed stun, and it's also a bit of a heal over time and a damage over time. And then I've got Feral Guardian on the ultimate, which might look a bit out of place and a bit weird, but it's just to proc the Advanced Species passive. I mean, to give you 2% more damage done. You could also run Meteor on the front bar for a bit more Max Magicka and Magicka recovery, but I just prefer to do the bear. It's not even morphed. You don't need to morph it. It just gives you 2% damage done. Warlord 28, Sprinter 16, Bashing Focus 8, Mooncraft 32, Arcanist 64, Tenacity 43, Healthy 32, Tumbling 28, Shade 8, Shadow Ward 11, Bless 64, Elfborn 44, Elemental Expert 64, Spell Erosion 13, Shattering Blows 11, Staff Expert 2, Master at Arms 72, Ironclad 40, resistant 49, thick-skinned 40, hardy 49, elemental defender 49, quick recovery 43. So that's about it really. One more thing. The Wonderstone, I've gone with the Apprentice, but you could go with the Mage, or the Atronach if you really wanted to. I feel like there's enough Magicka recovery, and there's enough max Magicka to sustain the build. So I've just gone for the Apprentice for a bit more spell damage, but depends on your preference really. And then the food that you want to run is the Bewitched Sugar Skulls, which is basically just try food but also gives you health recovery, which now I'm not running Vampire. Health recovery is actually quite a good stat to have. So, and then I've also gone Breton. You could also do Altmer or Khajiit, or you could run Imperial or Nord for a bit more tankiness, but I prefer Breton just to get that more Magicka recovery, so I don't have to spec into it with my jewelry and stuff. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. See ya.